Hello and welcome back to another episode of the FPL show on the Gallowgateshots YouTube channel. I'm Matt.
And I'm Daniel.
Well, hey, so busy week this week. It's been a long one as well with the FA Cup break. It's nice to be back talking about Fantasy Premier League again, isn't it?
It is nice. It's been a bit of a boring weekend, considering there's been no Premier League. We aren't in the FA Cup. Obviously, we've got our glorious moment tomorrow night. We're recording on Monday night, as normal. So it shan't be boring for long. But yes, I found myself at a bit of a loss this weekend. So I watched all 12 episodes of The Traitors. That was my weekend.
Do you know what? I've not seen that. I've not
You
seen it. I
should.
feel like I'm the only one who's not seen
Amazing.
that.
It's amazing. It's on iPlayer, yeah.
iPlayer, right? I might have to give that a watch. Saying that there's are you the same way? You've got like a list of things that you've been told that you have to watch, but it's just never ever going to get finished because a new thing just gets added, or you bypass something. Like it's just, I've still not seen so much. So I might get round to watching that in like the year 2026 when Newcastle have won the Premier League.
It won't be on there forever, but it's better than most things I've watched recently. Honestly, 100% prioritize, man, and everyone else. So yeah, that's what I did because there was no football. I mean, there was loads of football, but I think other than the Wrexham Sheffield United game, I wasn't bothered. I watched that game.
Yeah.
Other than that, I was like, nah, just have a weekend off, do something else. Did some adult things.
I was the same. I think I watched a bit of the Wrexham Sheffield United game, but I pretty much somehow managed to miss all of the goals. Somehow, I watched the first half, thought, nah, I can't be bothered, and that was pretty much it. But before we get into the thick of it, we'll just remind everyone to subscribe to the Gallowgateshots YouTube channel. Press the like button, please. Helps out a big old bunch. And comment, just comment, and we'll talk to you back. Sometimes it maybe not, but hey, we'll give it a try and see what happens. Why not, eh? So you can also become a member for as little as £2.99 a month. You'll get access to the Telegram group, which myself and Dan are in, as well as all of the folks at All the Smiling Faces podcast, and all of those other people that you're familiar with on the channel. It gets busy in there. I think I sometimes leave it for a day or two, and it's already at like close to 500 messages, especially at this time of the year with transfers and rumours and everything like that. But it is something good to be a part of. So yeah, £2.99 a month. Give it a try. You will not be disappointed. So it's been a bit of a flat week, hasn't it, for FPL in terms of FPL for us. And we'll talk about our scores a little bit later on. One of the big things coming up this week for game week 22 and game week 23 is the opportunity for triple captain. And so as well as triple captain, we're also looking ahead and thinking about the potential blank in game week 25, which Newcastle United hopefully will be a part of because it's a final of the Carabao Cup. And game week 28, which is going to be a big old blank also, which is going to feature quite a lot of or not feature quite a lot of teams. So that's kind of started the talk of planning of using chips. And that has inspired me today to look at livefpl.net, which is a handy tool to see a live score, lots of things like that, and see what other people have done and certain statistics to do with Fantasy Premier League. So, Daniel, it gives me a little bit of hope, mate. Gives me a little bit of hope. Bench boost. Right, in the top 10k, 28.5% have used their bench boost already. Right, overall, 17.3% have already used their bench boost. So if you consider like the normal standard of wildcarding before a big double and then playing the bench boost when you've got a team full of doublers, some people have already used their bench boost and don't have that opportunity, which is always nice. More points for me. Free hit, 50.8%. Of the
more
top
than half
10k,
the game,
more than half of the top 10k, so 5,000 to be exact, in the top 10k have used their free hit chip already, and that's 29% overall. So they don't have a way of manoeuvring the blanks. So if you're sitting there thinking, right, I'm having an awful season, but you've still got all of your chips intact, at least you've got a free hit. Some people don't have that. They've used it too early. Triple captain, 40.6%. In the top 10k have played their triple captaincy presumably on Erling Haaland in game week 21, 20, no 20, and 32.6% overall. And then their second wild card, you know how precious that is. 9.7% of the top 10k have already used that, and that's 7.8% overall. So a lot of chips have been used already, without, just because we've been conservatives. It's good to know that. So about a third of the players in the game have already used their triple captainship.
Yeah.
So who's the most likely options then for a triple captaincy chip going ahead, do you reckon? I would say there's two, isn't there?
There's two big hitters, I'd say, but also there's kind of like a third somewhere down the line, but we don't know where, and that is another potential Man City double.
Yeah.
Now you're going to need Ben Crellin for that sort of stuff, not Matthew and Daniel.
Sadly not.
Sadly. So follow Ben Crellin on Twitter. He is unbelievable with his sort of feature plan and his spreadsheets. And on there, there'll be all the permutations of a potential feature double for Man City. And the double, I think, is meant to be pretty good. That being said, out of what we know, we've got an Arsenal double, which I don't think any of us are really paying attention to because they don't have any like talismanic figures. They spread their points. There's Man United this week against Palace at home and Leeds at home. There's Leeds this week against Nottingham Forest and Man United away, which I think we're just going to rule that out. Nice and easy. And then Man City next week, Aston Villa at home, Arsenal away. I think it's really tough because the Man United fixtures are pretty good. Now, Palace actually don't have a bad record against Man United in recent history at Old Trafford. They've actually done well on occasions. That being said, Patrick Vieira's team look wide open at the minute when playing, I mean, anyone but us. So it's one of those where you think, well, actually, do I want to go against it? Do I not want to go against it? Leeds at home, again, I actually think it's a little bit tougher than people might recognise. Leeds have shut everything up at the back. They're playing very, very narrow, zero width. The congesting everything in the middle. So I don't really see teams getting too many chances against them. They look like sort of winning 1-0, losing 1-0, drawing 0-0 sort of team at the moment. But Rashford is in excellent form. And I think quietly under the radar as well, Bruno Fernandes is sneaking into people's teams. And I agree with those people. I currently have Rashford. Bruno is maybe my number one target this week to downgrade from Salah or to upgrade from Foden.
You still own Salah?
Yes. I just can't get rid of him, Matt.
Yeah.
It's when you look at the teams that he's had to play, you just think, I can't get rid of Salah. And when you look at the teams that he's got coming up to play, I can't get rid of Salah, but I am going to get rid of Salah. That is happening. And then Haaland with Villa at home, I think is obviously great fixture for them. But then Arsenal away is the worst fixture in the league, I think.
Statistically, yeah. I mean, they're the best team in the league. And you say that, right? So you look at them, they're top of the league, rightly so. It's interesting what you said about Arsenal and the fact that they share the points. Like the fact that nobody's talking about triple captaining an Arsenal player who are top of the league kind of speaks volumes, because we know what we're going to get with Man City, with Spurs. Like, so with Man City, you know Haaland's going to be the man for the points. Spurs, you know Kane's going to be the one for the points. Like Liverpool, previously it was Salah's going to get the most of the points. And you can kind of bank on them players to be the ones, if there's going to be a 19-pointer in the game, they will get it. Whereas with Arsenal, you've got Nketiah, Saka, Martinelli, Odegaard, Trossard now. Like, there's too many point sharing to be had. Like Chaka is getting a few like assists and things like that now. So for me, Arsenal are probably a good team to double up on in attack, especially with the double coming up. But not necessarily a team that you can kind of say categorically that you know that player is going to be getting the goals or getting the lion's share of the points in a 2-0 win. It's just not happening.
I think with all the blanks coming, all the doubles that'll be happening because of the blanks, for me, the triple captain is going to be a hold still.
Oh wow!
And if I was to choose, for example, I've already chose who my captain is this week. So my captain would be my triple captain if I was to play it.
Right.
That's Marcus Rashford at the moment. If I wanted to go massively against the grain, then I could go for Bruno Fernandes. I'm not going to go for Haaland. This is going to be the first week since I've owned him, I think, he's been fit, that I probably might not have captained him. So against Villa at home, I'm shitting my pants because Villa at home.
Why would you be shitting your pants, Dan? Because it's not like anybody who you do like a weekly FPL podcast with has had previous failures when he has gone against Haaland. It's like It's been plain sailing for me when I've done that. It's not like it's happened twice.
Haaland.
Yeah. To be honest, mate, it takes. I think it's me. I think as soon as I don't captain him, that's when you know to triple captain Haaland. So I'll let you know next time when I'm going to go against the grain, go off on a mad one. To be honest, this week you should probably triple captain Haaland this week actually, because spoiler alert, I'm going to be captaining Rashford, I think.
No,
woo, man. I've jinxed it all. Yeah. So I do agree. I think Rashford's the best captaincy option. Like if you ask me right now, I'm still toying with the idea of Haaland, but if you ask me right now, I'm captaining Rashford. Almost to the point where I'm actually considering using the triple captaincy chip this week.
It's tasty, like
it's. I mean, in terms of the chances conceded and XG conceded over like since the restart, you can't look any worse than Crystal Palace and Leeds, other than Leicester. Like Leicester are the absolute worst. Palace and Leeds, I believe, are kind of like second and third respectively. You might have to correct me there. I'm pretty sure they are.
I thought Leeds looked like they were doing better, to be honest.
I think they have improved, but since I can't remember how they did in the first game after the restart, but I think
they drew 0-0 with the mighty Newcastle.
Straight after the restart, was that right? Yeah. Oh, of course they did, man. Of course that was our first game.
They were beaten 2-1 off Villa, new manager bounce. They've had like 1-0s and 1-1s or something like that.
Interesting. I might be wrong about Leeds then, because I mean, to be fair, so shots conceded in the box, right? Crystal Palace have conceded 48, which is the most in the last 4 games. Leeds have conceded 30 shots in the box, which is like around about 14th, like mid-table.
I've had a look. They've kept 2 clean sheets in the last 4 since the restart, but in those 4 games they've conceded 3 goals. They drew 2-2 with West Ham. At home they got beat 2-1 off Villa away. Very mixed. Very mixed. Don't really know what to make of them.
So in terms of Leeds though as well, so I had a look. So Leeds have conceded their most chances down the left side.
There's Rashford.
So it's 9 down the left, 3 in the centre, and 5 on the right. So predominantly in the last 4 games, they're leaking chances down the left hand side. So that just screams Rashford. Crystal Palace are very similar. Crystal Palace have a higher ratio of chances getting conceded down the left. And I'm thinking that's from when we played them and Maxi had Danny Ward on toast. It really does spell good news for Rashford. I think with Rashford over Haaland, so say for example, if we're going to compare the two, Rashford gets a clean sheet point. So if he times that by 3, it's 3 points. And then he gets 1 more point than Haaland for a goal. And I'm just thinking
Haaland can score a hat-trick. I don't think Rashford can.
That's the whole point, isn't it? Haaland has the far higher ceiling because it's Haaland. I mean, I think I saw a stat. It's like out of the last 13 top goal scorers, he would have beaten 12 of them and we're only in January. Like, the guy's a robot. So now I'm sitting here thinking, why the hell wouldn't I triple captain him? So the statistics and the fixtures. So those two fixtures, I don't think you're going to get a better two fixtures together for a double game week asset this season.
Then Rashford.
If Haaland had Crystal Palace at home and Leeds at home, that would have been like Salah last year when he had Leeds and.
But Haaland and Rashford are two very different players.
Oh yeah, I know that. I'm just saying, I'm just talking specific fixtures.
Yeah,
those fixtures are plum. Like, they are amazing. I just worry Rashford's in form, and it would be typical fantasy Premier League for people to put their triple captaincy chip on him and for him to go absolutely like dead and not do anything, and have like revert back to Rashford with no confidence.
I'm happy just putting the captaincy on him in losing that value, whatever points for whoever does triple captain him. I think some people triple captain Haaland. I think some people triple captain him. I think some people save it. Lots of people have already used it. It's one of those things, isn't it? It's what you just got to go with your gut.
It's true. I think in the next 2 weeks, you're going to be hoping that Rashford and Haaland, if you don't triple captain him, you're going to be hoping that they don't score. You're going to kind of be, even though they'll be your captain, you're going to be hoping that they don't do anything, which is one of the worst things about fantasy Premier League. Like, if everyone wasn't bothered until effective ownership became a thing, but now that fear's around, it kind of adds that pressure to kind of jump on bandwagons.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think. But then, so now I've just thought, would I rather have Rashford captain this week, like you've said, and kind of take a hit if he does go off, and then feel safer in the knowledge? Because I think Haaland that week against in 23 is going to have a higher effective ownership, and it's Haaland. I fear Haaland more than what I fear Rashford.
And even like Rashford's ownership at the minute, he's nearly 50%, which is a lot. Then you've got Haaland's, though, is like 85.
So Dan, we both had a fairly average week, didn't we? I feel like I had a better week, but right at the last hurdle, when I thought I was home and dry with a brilliant green arrow, Haaland came and absolutely destroyed me and knocked me back down to earth. So this week I had 81 points, but I didn't captain Haaland. And you obviously know this. I think anybody who like has a WhatsApp group with me or kind of follows my team on Twitter, they would have known that I didn't captain him. So Saturday night, I was kind of buzzing. I was counting me chickens, really. Like, is that the correct expression? I think I might have just made that up.
Yeah, if you count your chickens before the hatch.
That's the one. I knew it was the one. So we'll keep that in, because that was fun.
Well done, mate.
Yeah. So I was totally counting my chickens anyway. Had Trippier captain, got an 18-pointer. I was thinking, right, Haaland will be fine. Sorry, 16-pointer. I was like, Haaland will probably just get one goal against Wolves. It'll be absolutely fine. I'd overtook some people in my like mini leagues that I was part of who've been given his stick all year. So you do a YouTube channel and things like this, and I was like, right, I'm gonna make the most of it, and I shouldn't have, because that was only halfway through the game week. The payment was yet to come. So I'm back bottom of them now, clearly, because Haaland destroyed me. I got Kepa in goal though. So I had Kepa in goal sitting there on Saturday night. I had Kepa. I had Trippier's 16 points. I had Botman's 6 points. Dunk had got me 1 point. Then Kevin De Bruyne got me 6. Rashford got me 7. Son got me 5 points. Whoop whoop. And Min Son. Martinelli got me 2. Matoma got me 10. He's an absolute beast, by the way. Haaland got me 17 instead of all the lovely points that I would have got. And Nonto got me 2. And yes, I do have Nonto of Leeds in preparation for the double game week. I was hoping to get a bit of a jump on that and get some earlier points. So I had on Saturday night a rank rise of nearly 1 million. So I was 3.1 million. I was sat at about 2.2, 2.3 million in rank, like on Saturday night. And like I say, I was buzzing my little head off. I've still got a green arrow this week. I'm now at 2.8 million. But if you consider how much I've dropped from Kane, Kane scored, didn't he? Kane scored this week, or got an assist. He did something. No, he's Son assisted him.
Son's assist, Kane's goal.
So obviously the points that I gained from Son assisting, I lost because
Kane scored.
So obviously Kane and Son got booked. Of course he did. So I slowly but surely came closer and closer back to reality, which was a shame. I was quite hoping to stay at 2.3 million, but I'll have to take the green arrow, I suppose. The green's a green, innit? Are you laughing at the fact that I'm happy that I'm I was wishing I was 2.3 million.
Yeah, you just quietly daydreaming. Oh, I wish I was 2.3 million in the world.
How the mighty have fallen. How did you do?
I've fallen. See that again? How did I do?
How did you do?
I got 76 points. I got a small green arrow. Still 1.4 million. I had Kepa in goal as well. Trippier with 8. Matoma with 10, brought him in. Rashford 7. Haaland's 34. And then like a couple of people, Dunk 1, Rodrigo 2, Salah 3, Adams 2 didn't help. But the thing that absolutely crippled my game week was I had Ben White, who played 45 minutes, got booked, conceded, and subbed off at half-time. I had Luke Shaw, who conceded 3 goals, got booked. I had Kyle Walker, who didn't play. Martial injured, Foden didn't play. So I had 5 big fat donuts in my squad for my outfield players. And that's just, you can't do that. You can't go in with, like, can you imagine, even if I just got, like, one of those players got a clean sheet and the other one played, so that's 8 points. Just something, no, that's pretty normal, isn't it? If that had happened, then it's like, well, we've got 84 points and probably a much bigger green arrow. Because the average points were only 65, so I was 11 over the average. But yeah, just that, I thought that Man United Arsenal game was going to be a horrible 0-0, 1-0 either way. And it turned into the game of the restart. So that's one of them, isn't it? Anyway, moving on. I've got loads of fires to put out, Matt. Absolutely yours. Martial, fire. Foden, fire. Even Rodrigo's spots now under contention with Bamford coming back in. Salah, fire. Che Adams, he was good for his 2 assists, very good. He needs to leave my team. Walker, fire. Yeah, so I've just got lots and lots of changes I need to make.
So you're thinking of doing a hit then? Is that what you're telling me?
I'll be taking a hit. I'm looking at my team for next week, and I think it probably needs a hit because I don't know if Kyle Walker's going to play away at Tottenham. And if they do, like, am I that keen on Man City keeping a clean sheet?
I don't. Yeah, I think
Salah out, and I need Bruno in. I want Bruno for his triple up, 100%. So whether that's Foden upgraded or Salah downgraded, I need Bruno in for the double up. And then moving forward, I know like next week I want Kane in. So that'll be Martial, Adams to Kane. And then when I think about that third striker spot, do I want Ivan Toney at Brentford? Whose next games are Southampton, then Arsenal, then Palace, then Man U, but they did well last time, then Fulham, then Everton. Like, Ivan Toney's games are absolutely mint. But then do you want to triple up on Arsenal with Nketiah? Because I can't quite squeeze midfielders into my team when they've got Everton, Brentford, Man City, Villa, Leicester, Bournemouth, Fulham. But yeah, and then you're thinking, well, what happens if Gabriel Jesus planning on coming back anytime soon?
I think that's a good 6 weeks away. That, you know, I think he'll get a few of those nice fixtures.
I think a good Arsenal. Well, I asked the question last week about the triple up, and I think a defender, a midfielder, and Nketiah is really juicy. So yeah, issues. I mean, I need an Arsenal forward for Everton away. Like
this is so
bad.
For me, right? It's interesting because I'm sitting here, and if I could choose, so I've got Gabriel and Martinelli. It's funny because it's kind of his name anyway, but I wouldn't choose. It's honestly hilarious. So I'm sitting here thinking that I wish I didn't have him. I wish I didn't have Martinelli. I wish I had Saka. And in an ideal world, I want Saka, Odegaard, and Nketiah. For me, like that would be absolutely fine, because I think there's so many good defensive options, like double or triple Newcastle defense. I think they're like.
I think Arsenal are a banker for a clean sheet in like every game they play. Like until they play like a really good attacking team.
They're a better option than Man City. I'll give you that. I'd say.
I think the best defensive options just scream out nice and simply Arsenal and Newcastle. I just think they are definitely the. But I mean, Newcastle's fixtures take a bit of a turn for a few weeks, so you might want to hold off until game week 27. Wolves at home, but obviously got West Ham and Bournemouth. Hopefully fine. Liverpool at home, you'd think fine, but like they do have a couple of world-class players still, so you do need to be on guard. Brighton are great. Man
Got
City,
a possible blank there though as well.
Possible blank.
So you don't want to be loading. So I wanted to do triple Newcastle, but then that would be a nightmare in game week 25.
But is that not the week? Is that the week where everyone blanks? Was it a different week?
I don't think that's game week 25 is a Carabao Cup final.
Is it?
I think.
Yeah. So you don't. Yeah, perfect. You do not want to be bringing any Newcastle defenders in yet. 27 onwards.
The best thing about Arsenal at the minute as well is they don't have a blank, and they've obviously got this double coming up. Well, so they're going to be
coming up. So you need. I mean, that needs to probably be everyone's number one transfers if they don't have it yet. Getting in triple Arsenal for Everton, Brentford, Man City. 3 games in 2 weeks. Man City's defense is not very good. Man City's team aren't great at the minute.
No,
I think Arsenal will beat them.
I think so. I think it's a must win. I think Arsenal get themselves up for that. They know that if they beat Man City, they've got a hand on the
that's a trophy. Final. That's a final for them.
So yeah,
Man City's got it in them at the minute.
Yeah. I think it's a case of just trying to choose the best 3, isn't it? If you've already got Martinelli, I would hold him. I know I'm saying I wish I didn't have him, but I fear Trossard. I do worry about him, but
yes,
we're talking about Nketiah. There's nothing stopping Trossard, because Trossard can play up front.
He's not very good.
Martinelli can play up front.
Martinelli can play up front.
So it's like there's nothing to say. Nketiah is the one who gets minutes.
Odegaard and Saka by a mile, aren't they?
Yeah. Odegaard, Saka, and then Gabriel is probably the optimum 3 for me. Even though Nketiah in the last 4 weeks has got like the highest XG and shots in the box of anybody in the game.
Yeah.
FYI, he's the one, weirdly, is getting all of the chances. So I know we talked before, it's hard to pinpoint who's going to get all the points. At the minute, statistically, it's saying it's Nketiah because he's the one who's actually getting the chances. And
I've got a feeling I really do think I'll be bringing him in this week.
What, Nketiah this week?
Yeah, I just think I need to get Martial out my team.
Yeah.
Get Eddie in for the next couple of games, and I think it'll be him and Bruno Fernandes. I think that'll come in, and I'll play a 4-4-2 with Kepa against Fulham, Trippier against West Ham, Dunk against Bournemouth, all home fixtures here. White against Everton, Shaw with his double, Rashford with his double, Rodrigo with his double, Matoma against Bournemouth, Bruno with his double, up front Haaland against Tottenham, and then Nketiah against Everton.
It's a good team. It's a very good team. I'm looking at mine, and so I'm like you. I want to bring in Bruno this week. I could take a hit to get Nketiah, but I've already got a bit of a benching headache. I'm like you. I've got 2 Brighton lads against Bournemouth. I've got double Newcastle defence. I've got Gabriel against Everton. The one person in my starting lineup that I don't like, right, is Kevin De Bruyne. Ironically, he's the one that I'm looking at, thinking, right, I hate that you're there.
Yep. That.
But I can't get rid of him because he's got the double next week. It's a total waste of a transfer. I'll just want him back.
Totally agree.
Weirdly, I'm looking at Son, right? So I've got Son sat on my bench. He's like second sub because he plays Man City, right? He's probably going to be the make weight for Bruno this week for me. That's like the obvious transfer.
Get Son out of your team. Get him
out.
Son, never been in.
But right, so he got 5 points last week, right? And,
good for him.
And he scored. Didn't he get a brace in the FA Cup? I reckon Dan Juma turning up has kind of put a rocket up his arse, and he's going to start.
Who were they playing in the FA Cup?
Some random shit.
Preston Ultimate, was it?
Yeah, sorry, no disrespect to Preston. I mean, it's quite disrespectful, very disrespectful. I'll take it all back. So, I think the easy move is Son to Bruno, but a part of us is kind of wanting to keep Son because Spurs fixtures.
Stop this podcast. Do it now.
Spurs fixtures are immense in the coming weeks, like we talked about when we talked about Harry Kane. But I could this week ignore shit Bruno and do Greenwood to Nketiah and target Arsenal instead against Everton. But then I'd be terrified of Bruno Fernandes as well as Haaland if I captain Rashford.
Look, Matt, I think with where you are in the world at the minute, you need to shake some of it up. I think taking hits at this point isn't a bad idea. True. Especially when doubles are around the corner. Take your hits for the doubles. Just do it. Nketiah versus Everton, and you've got a double for Man United against Palace and Leeds, who you've just been saying is a triple captain worthy fixture list there. So why on earth would you just not bring in their second best goal scorer after Rashford? Just do it.
So, other thing, based on the fact that my team looks class this week and I've got a headache, I would end up having, if I brought in Bruno for Son, I'm in a position where I would actually be considering benching Kevin De Bruyne.
That's fine.
And having him like first sub. That would be, and obviously playing Matoma. You're smirking there because you know what's going to happen. So yes, I've got a really big benching headache and I don't really know what to do with it, but there's still a few days. The deadline is Friday at 6:30, so don't get caught out by that. Shall we play a little bit of what's the point? Because I feel like we've rabbited on about with teams, all that nonsense. Woo!
Woo! Woo! Woo!
Woo! Woo! Woo! There we go. So it's my turn. It is my turn this week. You are 3-2 up. I've done a bit of a Liverpool themed one this week since they're doing ever so well.
Okay.
So, are you ready?
Yeah.
Darwin Núñez.
Oh God.
Trent Alexander-Arnold.
Any idea?
And Alexander Robertson.
Alexander Robertson.
Did I just say Alexander? Andy Robertson.
Right, okay. Andy Robertson, Darwin Núñez, Trent Alexander-Arnold.
Correct. What, in that order?
Yes.
Say that again. I wasn't even listening to what you were saying.
God.
I thought
Andy Robertson.
I thought you were repeating it.
Andy Robertson, Darwin Núñez, Trent.
Wrong.
Oh, crap.
So it was Robertson first with 61. Then Trent second with 56. And Darwin Núñez is third with 53. Close, but no cigar. So it stays 3-2 to you, so don't be too sad. Should we have a little look at the Gallowgateshots mini league?
Yes.
So I'm currently 218th, which is always nice. Might break into that top 200. Who knows? I've broken into the top 3 million overall. Top 200 in the Gallowgateshots league still on. We've got a new leader, you know. So it's Scott Hutchinson with possibly the best team name that I've ever seen. Are you ready for it?
Yes.
Na Botman.
You couldn't even have done it in the right tune, the right melody.
Well, so listen, right?
Batman, surely.
But that's not what it says. That's not what. So because of the character limit on the name, it's just nah Batman. So that's not my fault. I'm reading the team name out. I know what it's meant to be. I know what it's meant to be. So yeah, sorry Scott, but your team name doesn't work. Yeah, he got 86 points this week. He's on 1,361, followed closely by Liam Woodfine, who doesn't exist, and Ian Malcolm, who we're not sure exists either. No. There we go. So yeah, all fun and games there. Lots of fun.
Lots of fun for everyone involved.
I think it's going to be an interesting next 2 or 3 weeks. I think there's a lot of movement to be had because of the amount of chips that are going to get played. I think between now and game week 30, the whole scope's going to change massively because of the blanks, because of the triple captaincies. It's going to be very, very interesting. I think obviously by game week 30, we'll know what the doubles are going to look like too.
Yeah.
So we've obviously got all that to cover, all that to figure out. No doubt somebody will tell us and then we'll tell everybody else. Or we'll keep it to ourselves. We'll just kind of sabotage when I need to. God.
We now need to sabotage everyone else. We aren't having a good season. No one else can.
Yeah, I might just use this as a platform to sabotage people and build my rank. Yeah, so sorry, everyone.
Kevin De Bruyne before a double in that.
Yes, sell him. Do what I'm doing and bench him. Definitely benching him. First sub, Kevin De Bruyne. Nailed on hat-trick. So that was a lot of fun. I've enjoyed it. We're gonna get away. I'm gonna let you go play football, and I'm gonna go and finish the rest of my tea.
You enjoy it. Hope everyone else enjoys this.
Can't wait. Yeah, I hope if you're having your breakfast, lunch, or dinner, I hope you enjoy it as well, dear listener. And on that note, goodbye.
See you later, everyone.